Big Picture with me, Frank Razum Pereira. Well, the Reserve Bank of India will conduct a simultaneous sale and purchase of bonds, it said on Thursday, in a move seen by market participants as an attempt to bring longer-term yields lower. It is the first time the RBI has conducted a special open market operation of this kind, similar to the Operation Twist carried out in the United States near the start of the decade. Bond yields have been rising since the RBI unexpectedly left its key repo rate unchanged earlier this month, even as it slashed its forecast for economic growth to its lowest in over a decade. The RBI said it will buy 100 billion rupees worth of the current benchmark 10-year bond while selling 4 bonds maturing in 2020 for an equivalent amount. The central bank said it had decided to conduct the special OMO after reviewing the liquidity and market situation and assessing financial conditions. On this edition of The Big Picture, we will analyze the RBI's version of Operation Twist. Joining me on the program today are Ashok Nag, former advisor, RBI, Dr. Subhash Chandra Pandey, former secretary, DIPP, and A.K. Bhattacharya, editorial director of the Business Standard. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. Mr. Bhattacharya, let me begin the program with you. What do you make of the RBI's decision to go ahead with this swap?
Well, this is an unusual step from the RBI side. Reserve Bank of India has not undertaken such moves. But I think from what we know so far, it has been prompted by a desire to flatten the yield curve. Right now, what is happening is the short-term securities, the yields are lower than the overnight repo rate, whereas the long-term securities, the yield are 150 basis points higher than the overnight repo rate. Since the RBI's last monetary policy review, the yields on the long-term repo rate has moved up by almost 36 basis points. In this kind of a situation, RBI realized that there is need to flatten the yield curve from the short term to the long term. And what they're doing now is they are, in a sense, flooding more long-term bonds in the market, so their supply goes up. And with the same money they get, they are sucking out a lot of short-term bonds, 2020 dated bonds, into them, so that the supply of those short-term bonds comes down. So the yields on the short-term debt goes up, and the long-term debt yields come down, so that the curve is flattened, and the current situation becomes not that big a problem for, in my view, the government to undertake its next borrowing program. The government, is set to borrow a lot of money from the market because of the fiscal slippages that are feared. So I think Reserve Bank of India governor in his last monetary policy review talked about a coordinated monetary policy and a fiscal policy stance. I think he was acutely conscious of this, and this attempt to buy long-term and sell short-term sell short-term and buy long-term is essentially aimed at helping also the government to borrow and meet its borrowing requirement at probably at a lower cost. So whether 10,000 crore is good enough, only time will tell. But my sense is, given the fact that in the last 1 year you had a open market operation of around 3.5 lakh crore, I think you can expect a few more rounds of such instances of Operation Twist, where the long-term dated long-term securities are sold, and with the same money you buy short-term debt.
Okay, all right. Before, Mr. Nag, before we come to whether we're going to see more of this Operation Twist kind of operations in the near future, let's talk about what has really prompted and what has made the RBI to go ahead with this particular move.
First thing, let me clarify. That Operation Twist basically involves the sales, central bank sells the short-term securities and purchase with the same proceeds. They purchase the long-term securities. It was started basically Federal Reserve in September 2011, and they did same thing. 3 months Treasury bill. They sold and purchased Treasury notes of $400 billion. Two things are there. Why the Federal Reserve did? What is the prompting? The during after the crisis of this thing, the banks become very much risk averse. They don't want to buy a long term kind of a loans or things. They were holding back. Second part of this, that $400 billion that is there, that is a quite substantial 14% of the balance sheets of the Fed. And many of the fixed rate loans in USA are benchmark indexed to the reference rate is the 10 years benchmark yield. Now 10 years, why 10 years? 10 years is the basically most liquid security both in India and abroad. And India, what RBI is trying to do is that basically they want to say that long-term interest must come down, and so that bank do find the a much more don't park the fund in the you will be more in invest in giving loans will be much more a risk averse bank will be used to give more loan for this kind of operations. But whether similar kind of a effect will be there in India or not, it is doubtful, because what RBI 10,000 crores, if you look at it, it is only 0.4% of RBI balance sheets. Now, after these things has happened, this announcement was there. Yesterday, the 6.45% 2029 security, which is the on-the-run security, which has been, RBI has announced that it will trade on that. That yield has come down from 6.75 to the 6.59. 16 basis point already there has been a decline after the announcement. When 10,000 crores is pumped in, because generally yesterday I think it was a 13,600 crores was the turnover for this particular security was there, and today I believe it will go around 15,000 crores. If RBI pumps in another 10,000 crore demand in this, it may go down. I believe that around 6.25, around that it may come down. It is definitely is going to help that banks may be prompted to at least give more loan. Basic idea is that loans could be coming forth. Risk averse bank will take a decision of that. But the amount of these things in terms of this, I think 60,000 crores is outstanding for this security. The amount which is RBI is putting in this Operation Twist. Now, if you don't create a very big bang approach which was done by the Federal Reserve, and to the extent how many of our loans are benchmarked to this interest rate, this 10-year benchmark or not, is a question that RBI can answer. But let us see that one, of course, that is the one impact will be their fiscal, when government comes to the market to buy about 10 years security issues, they will have a lower yield. Okay, so that means can sell it a lower yield, it will be cost will be lower. That may help the fiscal pay. But whether the bank will be prompted to take up loans, it picked up the loan credit growth is something we have to look at it. We have to really keep our finger crossed and see that how it is happening.
Okay, several aspects here that have been raised that need to be addressed singly, but let's look at first the problem of liquidity surplus in the banks. Mr. Pandey, how big a problem is that?
Firstly, let me clarify that this particular operation is going to be liquidity neutral, because there is a simultaneous sale and purchase of 10,000 crores. So, it is a liquidity neutral, right? Normally, when the RBI conducts OMO, on a given date, it is either buying government securities or selling government securities. Here, it is a selling both. And it is not exactly a swap, because the sale may be to different entities and purchase may be from different entities. The market condition is that there is a plenty of demand for short-term debt, and that is why their prices are high and yields are low. Correspondingly, for long-term paper, the demand is low, so the yields are high, prices are low. So, it is to correct this imbalance. It is in the RBI and government's interest that there is a bigger market for longer term debt. That will reduce the cost of borrowing for government, and it will develop and deepen the long term debt market. So, keeping in these broader objectives, this operation is being taken, and 10,000 crore is a modest sum, as was just explained. It is about a day's turnover for the. So, I would think that it is probably a pilot, and if the experiment succeeds, RBI may be tempted to launch bigger such operations in future. In the process, there may be some costs depending on relative demand, how much the market laps up the short term, and how much it is willing to buy there. So, here in terms of assessing the quantum of gap between short term and it is about 120-130 basis point for, say, typically 2 year to 10 year. So, that gap is very wide, and the attempt is to reduce that. This is what we call term premium. So, the term premium is very high, and despite reduction in repo rate, at the beginning of this calendar year it was 6.5%, and now it is 5.15%. So, that 135 basis point reduction in repo rate, if it has not had the desired effect, so that it will also be an attempt to see that the repo rate makes the desired impact in the market.
Okay.
So, that is why RBI said it is a assessment of the liquidity in the system. There is a liquidity for short term. So, the RBI will be selling short term debt to cool down its prices and buying long term debt to jack up its prices.
Okay, all right. So, taking the discussion forward now, Mr. Bhattacharya, so you said that this is an unusual move really as far as the RBI is concerned. So, looking
there were attempted such a thing in the past.
Yes, yes. So, looking at the economic strain that we are going through at this point in time, do you believe that the RBI is trying to think out of the box to try and address the larger issue?
Well, I think what RBI is trying to do is, as I said in the earlier, that it first is trying to flatten the curve so that there is no unusual the curve imbalance, so to say. But at the same time, it is conscious of the government's fiscal needs. We all know that in the first 8 months of the government finances data that is out, which shows that the government's need for some extra borrowing is now well recognized. The fiscal deficit may not be contained at 3.3% of GDP in the current financial year, and the government is going to come out in the market to borrow, and the RBI has to facilitate that. Now, this attempt, in my view, will certainly address that economic concern, economic concern, that the government's borrowing program goes through smoothly without any undue extra costs. That's number one. Number two, in my view, this will also to some extent address the worries over lack of transmission of the repo rate cut to the larger money market, in a sense that in the credit market the transmission has not been to the desired level, whereas in the money market instruments the transmission has been decent. So therefore, both these issues, I think this move may bring about some positive results, in the sense that the government's borrowing program will be smooth, and two, the transmission of the repo rates may get expedited. And a third possible benefit from this could be that so far we have not seen much interest of the foreign participants in India's bond buying program. Now, if the RBI thinks out of the box, to quote your words, and does something that the Fed has done in the past and succeeded, probably the foreign players may be interested in coming and investing in the Indian bond buying program, in a sense that so far the quota that is kept for the securities is not been fully utilized, in spite of the obvious advantages of a low interest regime there and a relatively higher interest regime here. The foreign players have not yet entered this market. So probably if they see the central bank is using such aggressive and innovative measures, so to say, to keep the liquidity situation neutral, you buy something and you sell something, but you flatten the curve, make sure that the government's borrowing program is okay, so the foreign participants may actually be encouraged to come in.
Right.
So that will probably be a third possible benefit to a market where RBI is clearly the biggest player and dictates terms all times to come.
Okay, all right. So, Ms. Nag, I'm going to go back to a couple of points raised by both the other panelists. Of course, Mr. Pandey is talking about how this could be a pilot and we could see more to come if it is successful. And Mr. Bhattacharya also touched upon the aspect of, the Operation Twist that was carried out at the start of the decade in 2011-12. What has the experience of that operation been?
See, Operation Twist was created by the Fed for the US market, but at that time the credit growth was not taking place because of the people's risk aversion of the lending agencies. So this was a big, kind of a effort by the Federal Reserve to bring back the credit growth. Okay, because now the point is that in India, whether whatever RBI does, monetary policy, if it is two things will happen. Apart from this, there will be a positive impact on the balance sheets of the banks, because if lot of SLR securities which are there in the higher end, if the price, because of the yield goes down, price will go down, valuation 31st March, there will be kind of they can go with treasury profit. So in that treasury profit will help them to create a kind of a, whatever the balance sheet problems is there, the provisions, the losses, NPA to clear up to some extent. That is a positive impact. But main thing which RBI feels that I have tried to reduce the short-term rate by repo rate, and then transmission will happen, because transmission doesn't happen only because of the cut. There is a problem of demand. It must be answered that there is a standard liquidity trap problem which Keynes has written, that whatever the monetary policy does it is not going to really push your economic growth unless there is a fiscal policy changes. If you go and stick to the FRBM that you do not want to have a more than 3.5% fiscal deficit, you are not going to solve this problem, period. You have to go for inflationary kind of movement. You have to, you have to print papers, print money and flood it and create demand. Unless you do that thing, it is not, the monetary policy can be only help to the bank's balance sheets, this kind of things helping. To some extent it will help, but it is not going to regenerate the growth to the extent required for Indian economy, definitely not.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Pandey, as far as this particular move is concerned, is it also in preparation for the upcoming budget? Let's not forget the budget is almost here. So, can this also be seen, or can something be drawn out of this for the budget?
Definitely, because particularly the response of the market to the buying of long-term debt will show market expectation or assessment of the likely fiscal slippage. If the market feels that there is going to be more supply of government bonds and there's going to be fiscal surplus, the prices will remain depressed because there is more supply. But if the consideration is that no, the government will be able to meet through disinvestment and other means they target, and there more bonds are not coming into the market, then the prices will remain stiff. So the success failure of this will be an indication of the market assessment of the government prepared. And as I said, if it succeeds, certainly it smoothens the way of the government in further bonds mobilization if it is required. And as to the point of what Mr. Nath was saying, The RBI has been doing a lot of heavy lifting in terms of reducing as much as 135 basis points since the beginning of this calendar year. And government on its part has done massive corporate tax reduction, and they, from what we gather, the grounds are being prepared for further tax reduction. So, the government consumption or talking about fiscal slippage or fiscal deficit is only looking at the government consumption, which has its own limitations because our economy is largely private consumption driven, and that has to be spurred. For that, necessary changes are required in the tax and regulatory environment, and I hope that the budget will address that to boost private consumption.
Okay, all right. Closing comments now from all my guests with the best way forward. Starting first with you, Mr. Bhattacharya.
I think this is not going to be the first such exercise. As Mr. Mandya was saying, this is a pilot. They will move forward with more if it works. An important fallout of this exercise would be for those banks who may see the price of these long-term scrips go up, and their March end books may look better and their bottom line will improve. And the big question is to what extent the government manages its fisc more responsibly. If the government manages its fisc more responsibly, I think the chances of such experiments succeeding with greater results will get bigger, because as the governor, RBI governor rightly pointed out, that the monetary policy cannot function in isolation. It has to function in coordination with the fiscal policy. And as we know that even if you have reduced the repo rate by 135 basis points from February onwards, if your fiscal policy consolidation does not stay in tune with those, with that kind of a mandated path, there may be a slippage allowable up to 0.5 percentage point as per the FRBM Act. But if it doesn't go beyond that, then only the benefits of this move will show in a desirable way.
Does this in any way have a dent on two of the chief problems, which is investment and consumption?
Well, to some extent, it will impact on the interest rates, and if the interest rates actually transmission takes place, so the cost of money comes down. So hopefully, it will give a boost to more investment, and even in some of the interest rate sensitive sectors like real estate and consumer goods, you may see a positive impact, and that might boost consumption. But a long-term impact would be your investment may grow, but for investment to grow, there are many other factors.
Absolutely.
But on the whole, I would say this may start a new cycle, which if it's properly exploited, my sense is with fiscal policy and monetary policy coordination, it will be good news for the Indian economy.
Okay, all right, Mr. Nag.
See, that if the this particular policy helps the government to reduce its cost of borrowing, but then if you borrow without really changing the money, if you are borrowing in the sense that you are within the fiscal balances without changing your deficit financing more, then you are actually crowding out the investment to some extent, okay, private investment. What is required to be that government has to create more liquidity in the market by doing a more deficit financing. You have to have a higher deficit financing, which may go for capital expenditure in the government side, and that will create demand. If purpose of this, if RBI says that it is to give a government to borrowing easing, that means that government can borrow at a lesser cost, but it will be crowding out the investment because you are not creating the new kind of liquidity in the market. Existing liquidity will be taken out by the government. Then that means what? The liquidity which is available to if you look at the corporate kind of a debentures, corporate kind of debt, that is not affecting they have not been able to reduce it substantially.
Okay.
So government has to go for a higher deficit financing along with the RBI policy which RBI is taking. If these two go jointly, then only it will have a positive impact. Otherwise, it will be a marginal kind of positive impact.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Pandey, close the show for us with your concluding remarks.
I think RBI has done a lot to improve the situation on cost and access to credit, but there are many things which are beyond credit. On its part, government has its own limitations in spending more than whether by consumption investment in a short time. So my sense is that we have to look for the non-government private consumption investment